June 18, 2020. This is session number 1023, coming through the Omega Communications portal. Hello, Lani speaking again to you, and thank you for joining me for today's session. Begin by relaxing your body, opening your mind, so that you are in a receptive state. And this is important because you will be receiving energy coming through the words, and as you enter with me and with the many others joining us today in the Station of Light, you will be much more aware of the exchange of energy happening. So it depends on your willingness to allow yourself to embrace the energy and to be present as to how much you benefit from the session. And this is how we begin today, by being conscious that you, in an aspect of you, is fully present in the receiving area of the Station of Light. I consciously recede now to allow Commander Oram of the station to come forward. Indeed, I address you in this gathering, dear one. This is Oram addressing you, and you are used to my framework of energy, of the language I bring forward to you, of the symbology, and of the energy field surrounding you all here. Feel this around you. We do support you, those of us coming through as we observe you, as we exist in this Station of Light dimension for you. And because you are present here consciously, and you have accepted your position here in this dimension, you will be aware of the shifts occurring both within your awareness and in your conscious thoughts, and your perception will be deepening as you present yourselves here. This is for the purpose of assisting you in your conscious realization that there is a significant effect happening around the planet known as Earth to you people, and the effect is having the impetus to awaken many of you to stand up into a higher linkage, recognizing that what you are as an expression of a higher field of consciousness is much more than your physicality. It's much more than how you define yourself as a particular person, as a particular vehicle or instrument to perform certain actions in your livelihood and in your environment. We are referring to your essential state of consciousness, which exists throughout time. And as an essential state of consciousness, you experience life in many different aspects. It has been brought to your attention that you coexist in this moment as many different dimensional aspects of the original aspect of your creation, where you emerged from source energy, consciousness field, into a particular aspect of creation for the essential underlying purpose of what life is. There are many layers to that. There are many layers and lifetimes to experience, but they all have an underlying impetus of evolvement and of moving into experience, but to evolve that experience of that time back to a higher state of consciousness. And as that occurs, there is the overall upliftment into a conscious state of support and growth throughout creation of the manifested worlds created. Now, your participation in the current phase has been uplifted as you are more consciously co-creating with an element of creation involved in clearness. We use the word clearness because this is familiar to you. A clear pathway, a clear passage through creation. In a very wider sense, you will be understanding that Earth is moving through a passageway of creation. And physically, it is moving. Energetically, it is moving, in the sense that it has also come to a state of receiving an enveloping field of energy which is penetrating through the many constructs that Earth civilization has put up into the surrounding atmosphere. Remember that there is the overlaying starfield matrix. We use starfield matrix because this brings to your attention that it is greater than man-made creations. It comes from a greater Galactic Federation existence. The Galactic Federation is part of the overall expansion of consciousness and assistance programming. There is the programming which is enveloping you each in a sense of not overriding your conscious will, but the programming is set in motion for the upgrade of cellular functions, for the upgrade of the conscious layers, conscious interpretation and communication with a higher evolved set of beings. So we are speaking about multidimensional existences again for you. And you will be needing to identify the particular groups that you can feel are personally, individually assisting you to progress. The progression ultimately leads you into the civilizations outlined to you already of the crystalline light cities. These encompass certain idealistic patterns, and those idealistic patterns are resonating with a coherent field of awakened consciousness states. In the awakened consciousness coherent field, there is always support and upliftment, new creations. So you would feel from that understanding there is no deliberate act to interfere with anyone else's pathway and progress. When you realize you are coexisting with this enveloping field of the Galactic Federation, then you will understand how you can be observing different states of consciousness from a viewpoint of understanding where other beings are functioning from a different level of consciousness. Observing from your higher connections enables more of that higher vital essence, the light field, to enter within your environment. Your environment may include your locality where you exist in a community, your country, and the entire planet. Feel that you are not limited. You are unlimited in the extent that you can embrace conscious life. And in many ways you are understanding, you are bringing in that higher light life construct, energy construct. At this time, as we observe you, we are seeing that your individual energy fields are taking in the higher light frequency pattern presented in gatherings such as this. So this lifts you above what is occurring beneath that starfield energy matrix that people are connected in with. So as you maintain your awareness into the greater starfield matrix, originating from creative source, then you will feel many layers of you coming into a very stronger energy field and alignment. And this is the main function today in this session that you are experiencing, this very strong attunement, connection to that greater light field. This will be strengthening you in many ways, many layers that you exist in. You would be conscious of your physicality, of the thoughts you have, of the emotional reactions you have, and everything that is contained within that for your physical sustenance. So as you take in this higher light field sustenance for you, you also will be aware that there is a greater separation that you experience from this state to what you may have been experiencing before you entered into the session. So there is a level of elimination, of clearance, as well as the inflow that you are receiving. Now you may have the sense that you have been transported to a different field of energy as you take in this vital essence for you in this aspect. You may also be experiencing that you are recognizing different aspects of your life that are no longer serving you in your overall purpose for being present as a conscious being. And this will be assisting you. Take this into you, and you may be experiencing a sense of fulfillment. You may be having different experiences that relate to specific needs that you had as you entered into the session. You will feel the different layers settling back down into you as I now bring your attention back to focusing within the receiving area of the station. You are moving through evolution processes into the manifested layers of existence that you would choose to be in, which are already with you. Encompass that. As you process that, I withdraw now, Aurum out. Acknowledged. We surround you in this presence, in your presentation here, in this receiving state, and we are a collective of beings, generally identified to you as the Council of Light. You will be feeling you are receiving a very strong field of light, and many of you may be interpreting this as a golden field of energy system. We are doing this for the purpose that you can identify yourself as being enveloped in this particular light. This particular light also is part of the inner earth existence, and the beings involved in the inner earth at this present time are producing layers and fields of energy to assist people like yourself living upon the earth. And you have been overcome, and you have been surrounded by many different fields of identifying layers, people who would want to identify you and keep you in a structure and keep you labelled as such. And also the energy that is being enveloping in a very close layer around the earth is coming forward for the purpose of clearing some of the conditions that ones are experiencing. Remember that many of the manifestations are brought upon by specific conditions which are not clean and clear, and this is part of the particular state of civilization and how they are viewing themselves and viewing controlling authorities. So this field that you are receiving is also strengthening the neuro network throughout the earth energy field and throughout your personal energy field. This is to reassure you, and so that you maintain this energy field closely around you. It is linked with the star field matrix, which you have as an individual field around you, and particular points intersecting with the energy field within you, and this is all part of the energizing structure necessary for you as you take in the sequences of light coming through the solar portal. This was necessary to remind you of this again. And so we are grateful for your attention, and we withdraw. Oh, this is Lani again, and I thank those beings, the Council of Light and the galactic beings and Aurum. So it's now time for you to bring all of this back consciously, now connecting back into your body. Perhaps in this moment you will feel that energy field surrounding you. Personally, I feel it as a very intricate, fine matrix of energy completely surrounding me, my own energy sphere. And it's golden light, sparkles of golden light. So this must be necessary for us at this time. So I'm grateful for that. Now, consciously be aware that you are back in your body, surrounded by this field of light energy. And be aware of the day and the time as you are receiving this. And this ends this session through the Omega Communications portal. Thank you to all of the beings who've provided the illustrations that I use in these sessions.